Hello everyone, welcome back to Sukio's art channel. I'm really excited because I haven't done a video in a really long time, so I apologize for that. I've been quite busy, but I am going to try to get back on track again and be more consistent again. Just as a disclaimer, I do have birds in my room and they will be making noise throughout the video. If you hear that chirping in the background, obviously those are my birds, so try to ignore that. Anyway, so today we're going to be, well, I'm going to be looking at the Jane Davenport Colorsticks. I've actually had these for ages, but as you can see, I've already done the color chart, but I've never actually used them. So we'll see what happens. This is my sketchbook, which I use to draw on, obviously. I don't know why I had to state that. Never mind. Anyway, okay, so I have two sets of the color sticks. For a long time now, I've wanted to try Jane Davenport products. I've heard a lot about them. I don't actually own a lot. I think these are the only ones, I believe. But they're just so pretty. And they have such beautiful colors and they have such beautiful designs. You know, I just look at how they are presented. This one I've taken out of the box, but this one is still in the box because I wanted to show you guys the difference. If the birds are too loud, let me know and I'll adjust it for next time. I hope you can hear what I'm saying. I really like the presentation. I like that it's so black. I think it's really elegant, really pretty. You know, it has a face because I think Jane is known for her faces. There's this outline of a face on the box, which is on the actual box, not the plastic container. As you can see, the plastic container is just see-through, which makes sense. And then, yeah, there's some information at the back. So it says, color sticks are smooth, easily blendable, water-soluble, non-toxic gel crayon you can use on multiple surfaces. So that's good to know you can use it on multiple surfaces. And then it says you can go on her website. And then there's a warning that states, this product contains chemicals known to the state of California to cause cancer, birth defects, or other reproductive harm. So yeah, just be aware of that. And then it says it conforms to ASTM D4236, which means it's supposed to be non-toxic. However, it does contain that one chemical which is deemed as toxic in California. So take that as you will. And then it says this was distributed by the Spellbinders Paper Arts Company, or made by them, or, you know, designed by them in Arizona, USA. And oh yeah, it says here made in China. So there you go. So that's all the information you get. At the top there, you can see it says Jane Davenport, and then it says which, because they both have different colors. It's possible that some colors overlap, but this is the Jane Davenport Color Stick Silky Skin one, and this is the Jane Davenport Color Stick Soul Window. Okay, so they're different, different colors. And different faces, as you can see, the outline of the face is different on each one. So each one of them comes with this little paper, which I love because it's basically a color chart. And then at the back, there's a face that you can paint. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I really like this because I'm very messy when it comes to color charts, and I can be very disorganized. As I mentioned in a previous video, some people are super organized when it comes to color charts. It's amazing. I wish I could be like that, but I'm not. So when a product does come with a little paper like this, I just find it really helpful. It's possible that my bird is chirping a lot because he thinks I'm talking to him. So I'm sorry about that, guys. I'm just drinking some water. Okay, that's done. The other good thing about this is that it comes with the color names, okay? So it's easy to identify which colors you're going to use if you're reaching for them inside the box, which is great. Yeah. So yeah, I find this very handy because it has color names and then it has a little box, and they are water soluble. So as you can see, I did the color chart a while ago, and I did use water on this one, but then I didn't use it on the other one. So I'll be doing that today. Try to be as quick as possible. This is the actual box. And I actually like crayons like this one because I love oil pastels, and I always feel like these type of crayons are very similar to oil pastels. So when you open the box, this is what it looks like on the inside. Again, it's so pretty. Look at all those colors. It's like looking at a rainbow. It's so gorgeous. And then on the crayon, it says Jane Davenport, and then it says the name of the color. Hopefully, there we go. So that one is lapis lazuli. And that's down here. That's the lapis lazuli, just to give you an example. There you go. And when you open them, ooh, oh, okay. I wasn't expecting that. They kind of look like these lipsticks, which is really cool. I really love that idea. And and you can twist the thing at the bottom if you want to make them grow like so. Obviously, I don't need them to be that long. So, hi, David from David's Art Channel. Thank you for watching my video and supporting. I really appreciate this. Please share if you can. That would be fantastic. So yeah, I'm just going to pull it back in because I don't want to break the crayon because these are really soft and they would break very easily because of their softness. So yeah, that's, you know, it kind of feels and looks like a lipstick. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on this because I know I tend to waffle and I'm trying to work on that. I'm trying to waffle less in my videos. So that's basically what it looks like and that's how it works. So I will open the other one. Actually, do you know what? I'll do one at a time. So, and I'm saying the word so a lot. I was about to do it again. How silly. Never mind. I'll work on that too. Okay, so I've got some water here. There we go. And I'm just going to add some water to the ones that I didn't dilute last time, just to see how they work. Just to see if they dilute the same. One thing about this is, I don't know if you guys can see it, so I'll bring it up to the camera, but you can see when I diluted the pigment, that the particles look like they're coming apart from the water. And that is something that I've noticed happens a lot with cheap art supplies, but you know, that's just to be expected. I'll play around with these a little bit and see if there's any way in which the diluted versions of the colors can look a little bit more saturated than that. Because as you can see, the bit of the color that has not been diluted with water looks pretty uniform, pretty saturated. But then the bit that has had water added to it looks pretty flimsy and I think it's because the particles separated once the water was added, and that's why it's not as saturated. So we'll see what happens with the other ones. I actually did this color chart a really, really long time ago, so I'm not sure. That's interesting. Because obviously this color, I diluted it while it was still fresh on the paper. So obviously it was quite easy to dilute straight away. But this one, it's been stuck to the paper for a long time and it doesn't seem to want to be, you know, it doesn't seem to want to interact with water. Because I think, when did I do this color chart? It would have been about a year ago, because I've had these for a year, I believe. So that's interesting, actually. I'm glad I've done this experiment, because you can see if you wait too long, they won't dilute with the water. So it has to be a process that you do straight away. I mean, it's slowly diluting, but no, it doesn't seem to be working very well. As you can see, I mean, look at the difference. So yeah, if you want to use water with these, you're just going to have to use the water straight away. You can't leave it too long, like I did. I hope that's bright enough for you guys. I am sitting right in front of my window and there's a lot of brightness coming through. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. Let me know if you can. Let me know if my birds are too loud. Just let me know so I know for next time, so I can adjust it for next time. Yeah, so that doesn't seem to be working. Okay, it's slowly. Yeah. So yeah, that would be my first impression. If you're going to use water with these, don't leave it too long on the paper. Do it straight away, because obviously they don't seem to want to dilute as well if they've been stuck to the paper for a long time. So I'm just going to leave that because it's not working. I'll try another color, see if I get a better reaction with another color. I'll try this one because this one seems pretty saturated. No, it's the same thing, because I left it too long. It doesn't want to be diluted with water. Shame. Okay, fine. Do you know what? I'll just open the other one. I was going to leave it until I did this one first, but there's no point because those colors are not gonna, they're not gonna dilute. Okay, where's the paper for this? Okay, here we go. Okay, so this one, as I said, they're both different. This is the Colorstick Soul Window, which I really like the names. I think they're so pretty. And this one is the Colorstick Silky Skin. Let me just move that back a little bit. And just getting more. Oh, let me just get some tissues, guys. Bear with me. Because I'm getting water everywhere. Okay. Yeah, so obviously this one is for skin tones, and this one is just, you know, I would say a generic one, which has as many colors as possible for you. I think what I'm trying to say is it has a variety of colors. Though, yeah, it has a variety of colors in case you want to, you know, to give you an option. So, for example, some sets are specific for landscapes, like this one is specific for skin. I think this is just a general one for anything. That's what I'm trying to say really badly. So I apologize about that. I noticed that there's no black or white on this one, but there is a black one here. Okay, but there's no white. So I guess we'll see what happens. Right, so the colors are, for this one, it's Violet Eyes, Make a Moo. I don't know what that means. It's spelled M-O-U-E. Okay. Heart Eyes, Canoodle, Brassy Locks, Bright Future, Flourish, Aquamarine, Limpid Pool, Deep Truth, Baby Blues, Lapis Lazuli. So yeah, the names are quite interesting. This one is Flutter, Gray Matter, Deep Vein, Eccentric, Pout, French Kiss, Pucker Up, Highbrow, Magnetic Field, Wink, Rice Paper, and Moon Kiss. So again, really interesting names. I'll try again on this one, see if I can dilute the colors, but I get a feeling it's not going to happen. No. Okay, there you go. No, it's not going to happen. So don't leave the colors on for too long because you will not be able to dilute them with water. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is, I mean, if I was to comment on the colors, I would say this is quite glossy paper. I don't know if you guys can see it on the camera. Art supplies tend to behave differently depending on what kind of paper you're using. So this one is quite glossy. So I will be trying these art supplies on my sketchbook paper, which is it's quite rough compared to this one, to see what the difference is. I wish I diluted these at the time. I didn't realize this was going to happen because my experience with water-soluble art supplies is that even if you leave it for a while, if you come back later and you add water to it, it tends to be water-soluble anyway. But obviously with these, that is not the case. Or maybe it's the paper, I don't know. So I wish I'd done, you know, I'd used water on the other ones to see if they were just as, if the same thing would have happened where the particles separate from the water, but alas, too little too late. I would say in terms of the colors, they are quite vibrant and pretty. I'm just drinking some water again. I really like the colors. They feel really smooth and really nice. So yeah, I don't have a problem with it so far. I remember them feeling quite soft at the time, but I will be trying them again and tell you how I feel about how they feel on the paper alive, if that makes sense. So now the next step is I'm going to do each one of these. I'm going to be painting these faces in. And in order to test these properly, I'm not gonna mix and match. I'm gonna use this one for this one because obviously this paper came with this, and I'm gonna use this one for this one because obviously this paper came with this. Now it's a, you know, this is the silky skin one, so I understand that the drawing would be a face, but for this one it would have been nice if it was a different drawing, I guess, just to test out the colors a little bit more. But it's okay. I'll find a way around it. I know, again, that Jane likes to draw faces and she's really good at them. They're really pretty. So Okay, right. Do you know what? I'm gonna try this one first, actually, because this is the silky skin one. So I'm just gonna go with the standard one for, you know, the kind of colors you would use for a face, and I'll do this one next. Okay, so right, let me look at my color chart. I think I'm gonna use this one, and then maybe I'll use this one, or maybe a brown for shadows. Right, let me try the rice paper, okay? So I'm gonna be using the rice paper. That's what it's called, this color, for her color skin. Oh, okay, here we go. Right, let's see how it feels. Okay, yeah, definitely very smooth on this paper. And I'm also going to be adding water to it in order to spread the color faster. And also to experiment and see what it's like, because obviously I couldn't do it on the color chart. Okay, let's see if that's enough. I can always add more if it's not enough. I hope you guys can see that. Okay, so it dilutes straight away because it's still fresh on the paper. I have to say, I don't like the way it feels on this paper when it dilutes, because it doesn't look very, I don't know, it looks a bit chalky. Doesn't look very uniform or saturated. Now, I mean, that's to be expected. When you add water to a color, it is going to lose some of its vibrancy. That's fine. That's normal. It will also lose some light fastness, though I don't know if these colors are light fast or not. There's no indication of that. But yeah, I mean, that's something that tends to lose when water is added to it. Um, yeah, it doesn't look very good on this paper when water is added to it, but I get the feeling it's because this is glossy paper. I really feel like it will have, it will be a different effect on a different type of paper. I will have to wait for it to dry and see what kind of effect I get, but again, with the purple, the particles did separate once the water was added, and it lost a lot of its saturation and vibrancy. So we'll see what happens once it's dry. I'll add some to the neck. I don't remember how much these cost at the time. I believe I bought them in Hobbycraft, and I don't remember now how much they were. I'll probably look on Amazon later, but I think maybe they were £10 each, £12 each, maybe a little bit more than that. I know that Jane Davenport products are quite expensive. I mean, not Caran d'Ache expensive, but I think for art supplies that are not light fast, they tend to be a little expensive. But I also know they tend to be good quality. So, okay, right. Let's just while I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm just gonna paint in the hair. So I think I'm gonna use this pink pucker up because it looks so pretty. Look at that. I don't know. Oh, Jesus. There we go. Pucker up. There it is. That one. So yeah, let's use this one for the hair. Maybe you can use a mixture of colors, maybe this pink and the purple. I'll try adding a bit more pink this time. and see see if I get a better effect if I add more color. I'm just going to make her fringe pink or pucker up like a kind of magenta maybe. So it's reddish pink. It's a very nice pink. I think it's one of my favorite colors on this set. Okay, yeah. The effect is not as streaky as it was with the skin color because obviously I added more color to it. And of course, the more you stretch the color, the weaker it becomes. So that makes sense. It's still a bit streaky though. I'm trying to get rid of the streakiness. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is kind of maybe mix the colors a little bit. I'm going to give her a different hair color. I think I'm going to use a different pink, maybe this one, and mix it with this purple and see what happens. So it's colors I want are pout and eccentric. So this is pout. Saw that for a second. There we go. And eccentric. There we go. Okay, so there we go. I have to say, one of the things, oh, no, I'm damaging my crayons. One of the things I don't like about this design, even though it looks good, is when you take it out, you go like this. And I'm always worried that because it's such a long barrel, that it will damage the crayon when I'm like taking it out. So it is a really nice design. It does look like lipstick, which I like, which was probably the intention. But I do worry that it will damage the crayon. That's the only thing. That's the only negative I would say about this design. Other than that, I really like that it looks and feels like lipstick. Okay. So I'm just gonna have the pink here. Oh, it's a little bit of brown on that. Why? Why is there brown? Why is there brown on that? Okay, interesting. That must have happened at the time when I first did the color chart. On the glossy paper, they feel really smooth, but you know, they would because it's glossy paper. I think there was a speck of brown there, which is why it's showing up as brown. This is a weaker color than the other pink. Okay. And it doesn't wear down that much. As you can see, it's only worn down a little bit. Ay, ay, ay. The focus is terrible. Hopefully you can see that. There we go. So it hasn't worn down that much in that little bit I used. Okay. Okay, let me add some purple, which is called eccentric. Okay, I'll add some purple up here. See how well these colors mix. And I'll add some purple here just to see how it reacts on its own. Okay. In essence, I'm mixing 3 colors because there was a little bit of brown there as well. So that's going to affect the result. It is very streaky. I really don't like the streakiness. But I would say the mixture is a nice one. It looks good. Oh, some of that other pink has seeped through. Okay, never mind. It doesn't look muddy. It was hard to tell at this point without it having dried first. Okay, so the face has dried now, and I just want to show you guys that it has dried really weirdly. Like there are spots. I don't know if you can see that, but there are spots, like gaps between the color. It has not dried consistently. Don't know if you can see that. No, it's not going to focus. Okay, hopefully you guys can see. So that's not very good. I don't like the way it has dried on the paper. But I do think it's because it's glossy paper. I think even if you don't add water to it, it doesn't look very good. Okay. Just wiping the brush here because now I just want to try like adding water to the pink and see how it fares. But it seems to have mixed well. I like the way it has mixed. Yeah, I think it's just this paper. I'm not sure if it's worth it painting in the other face because I don't think I'm going to get a true like reflection or representation of how these colors actually work or what they actually look like. I would say just don't use glossy paper with these. It's just you will not get a nice effect. Or maybe I'm using it wrong, but that's just my experience anyway. So I'm mixing the purple now. Okay. So I just want to say also really quickly, tomorrow is Valentine's Day. So I will be doing another video tomorrow related to Valentine's Day. For those of you who are in a couple, I really hope you have an amazing day full of love and fun, okay, with your loved ones. And for those of you who are single like me, don't worry, it's going to be okay. Just do some art with me. It will be fine. I have to say, I love Valentine's Day either way. Whether I'm single or not, it's always my favorite time of the year. I think it's also because it's just before spring hits, and I really don't like the winter. I'm much more of a summer gal. So for me, February is great because it's like the winter is ending and the heat is coming. I am so excited. I know we're still in lockdown because of the pandemic, but I have found lockdown during winter to be much more difficult than during summer. So I personally cannot wait for summer. I'm just going to try and add a little bit more pink. Okay, I really hate the way the colors look on this glossy paper. I have not enjoyed this experience at all. They on this type of paper, they're just really difficult to. They're not difficult to mix. They mix fine, they blended fine. That's not the problem. The problem is the afterlook, the way they dry. It just dries. Ugh, really ugly. You can see the streakiness. You can see the particles separating from the water. Um, yeah, I am not happy. And even here, it doesn't look good. At least it doesn't look good to me. I hope you guys can see it at home, how streaky it is, like how the color settles in some spots better than in others, and then there are gaps between the color. Um, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. I think I'm just gonna go to my sketchbook and see how they fare in that type of paper. Maybe I'm adding too much color. Because here I've just done the lips with the remains of the color that were on my paintbrush, and that doesn't look so bad. But again, we have to wait for it to dry and see what happens. I really don't like it. Oh, I really don't like it. Yeah, yeah. Okay, just gonna do her eyes to kind of like not finish it, but just yeah, it's bugging me that her eyes have no color. So I'll just do the eyes and then I'll go into my sketchbook. Oh, I wiped it off the picture. That was not my intention. I was just wiping the table. Okay, I'll just give her brown eyes. I'll give her this color brown. This one is highbrow. Highbrow. Okay. I won't add water to it though. I'll just do it with a crayon. I mean, if you're just using the crayon on this glossy paper and you're not adding water, it's okay. It's not bad. It looks okay. Maybe I'll just let me try adding some more skin color. That'll take a long time to fill up the whole thing. Yeah, no, I can't. It'll take too long. I'll just add some more water to that. Oh, I think that was the wrong color. That's a darker one. Oh, that's fine. It's fine. Ay, ay, ay. Hmm. Hmm. nearly dropped that. Yeah, it's okay. Let me just take away some of that purple. My bird is just watching me do this. I hope she's enjoying the video, and I hope you guys are enjoying it too. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna get my sketchbook out. I'm gonna leave that to dry. See what happens. I'll try and add some shadows to her face later on, but yeah, I really don't like the way that felt on the glossy paper. So, okay, this paper, as you can see, some color seep through. It's a little bit, you know, untidy, but I'm going to use it anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick color chart first, just to see, actually, before I do that, there's one thing I want to try. So on this one, because this is one with, so, you know, the colors are more primary, I'm going to try and mix some of the primary colors here and see if I get a mixture. Right, so let me just take this yellow, Bright Future, it's called. Bright Future. And I'm going to take the Heart Eyes, which is the closest thing to red we have. So let me see if they create an orange. So that's not quite red. That's a very pinkish red, more like, I was going to say vermilion, but vermilion is like more of an orange red, and that there's definitely a pinkish tinge to that. Okay. Okay, it did create an orange. That's good to know. So I could make a skin color. I could make a Caucasian skin color with that. But that's very slight, as you can see. It's not really. Okay, let me try with a blue. So look at the color chart. Yeah, the lapis lazuli is the only true blue here. The other ones are all kind of greenish blue. So I'll put the yellow down first. There's some redness to it now. Okay, yes, I can see a green, very dark green, but a green nevertheless. Okay. At least we know they mix well. They create some nice secondary colors. So that's good. And I'll just do the red and the blue now to see if we get a purple. Okay. Okay, that's good. So at least we know they blend well and we get some nice secondary colors. Okay, that's good. So I'm just going to leave that to dry. And now I'm going to try it on my sketchbook. For those of you who are new to my channel and haven't watched my previous videos, this is a sketchbook from the Colorstick and Son shop in London. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. I'm sorry, guys. It's an amazing art shop near Holborn, near the British Museum, and it's closed now, I'm assuming, because of the lockdown. I actually got this months ago when things were open, but it's my favorite sketchbook out of all the ones I have. And I believe it's Fabriano paper. It says at the back, yes, there we go, Fabriano Academia drawing paper. And yeah, you can see all the details there. It feels really nice. I've used water soluble, like these were watercolors, and the paper, this was my last video, and the paper held the water really well. As you can see, it hasn't come through in any way. I mean, yes, the paper is a bit wrinkly, but it would be with any water soluble art supply. But as you can tell, this is such a great sketchbook. I would recommend it to everyone who likes drawing on sketchbooks. Okay, so I'm going to do a color chart. Oh, I was going to put in the right one. Not thinking. I'm going to do a color chart on this paper and see how the colors fare on this type of paper versus the glossy paper. And yeah, I'm pretty certain I'm going to get a completely different result. So let's just go for it. This one, I think let me just see if the colors are in the right place. Yes. Okay. So let's start with the black. I will name them later. Okay. On the first impression, it feels much nicer on this paper as I knew it would. It's quite soft. It's very glidey. It glides quite a lot, if that makes sense. I also like the texture that the paper gives the color. Okay. It dilutes very well on this paper as well. And it feels like you would have more control on this paper, which again makes sense because it's a rougher type of paper. But I don't think it's diluting as well as it did on the glossy paper, because you can still see a little stain there, like that black has stuck to the paper. Not all of it is coming off. So that's maybe why the company provided glossy paper, because it dilutes really well on the glossy paper. It dilutes completely. It's just that you get a lot of streakiness. You don't really get that streakiness on this rougher type of paper. Okay, so that was Flutter. The next one is Gray Matter. Also, just notice this on the top of the crayon, there's that like this paw print. That's really cute. I don't know why, but it's there. That's why it stuck to the glossy paper. That's why I couldn't dilute it with water after a while. So you want to be careful with that, because it doesn't dilute as well as it could, but it dilutes pretty well. You can still see in the black one now that it's drying, because it's going to dry faster on this paper because of its rough texture than it will on the glossy paper. You can see that the particles are coming apart from the water and from them, from each other, even on this paper. So obviously it's only because, either this is a hue, either they used hues or dyes instead of, not hues, sorry, either they use dyes instead of pigment for these crayons, or the pigment is just not very good quality, I guess. But I would say that looks like it might be a dye. it's okay. You can still get, I mean, we'll see as we go along with all the different colors. This one is deep vein, by the way. But you can still, you still get a nice, a nice color. It's just that, okay, yeah, I can feel the streakiness in this one. Try adding a bit more water. You know what? I don't think I'm going to do all the colors because that would take a really long time. I think what I'm going to do is just experiment a little bit. So, for example, if I take, you know what? I'll take the next purple and see what happens. I'm just going to do this. And instead of just diluting a little bit of the color, I'm going to stretch it a little bit like this, make it a little bit bigger and see what happens. Because I have been stretching the color out. But maybe if I give it a little bit more oomph, that makes sense, I'll get a better result. So this one is Eccentric, which I've used before when I was painting in the girl's hair. Okay, oh yeah, that's much better. Much better. Okay, that's actually quite nice. That's a really nice uniform saturated color. So yeah, with these, you just want to add a lot of color if you want to get a nice, powerful result like I did with this purple. Of course, this purple is always going to be a nicer color than that one because this is a lighter purple. And yeah, light purples don't tend to be light fast. When a color is fugitive, that means it's not resistant to light, essentially. It doesn't tend to be as strong. Just wiping my brush on this paper. Also, I found more fugitive colors also tend to be streakier, less easier to control. Okay, let me just do some of the pinks. Ooh. I'll do it the same way I did the purple, like this. Give it a little bit of oomph. They glide across the paper really easily. They do feel very buttery, very smooth. So that's nice. They do glide a bit too much, though. I do worry that it will give. This is Pout, by the way. Pout. I worry that it won't give it as much control because they glide so well across the paper. They're also a little bit chalky. I can feel that. They don't feel terribly chalky right now, but I can feel the chalk. I think these would be great for arts and crafts. It also says they go on all types of surfaces, so you might want to use it for ceramics or wood, metal. I'm not going to be testing that today, but if you're interested, I mean, you know what? Maybe I'll do it another day. I'll consider getting some pottery or something and test these on those and see what happens. Maybe adding too much water as well. I do that sometimes. Okay, that one was quite streaky. Maybe it's because I added too much water. Okay, here's my, so that was French Kiss. Sorry guys, forgot to point that out. This one is Pucker Up, which is my favorite color of this set. And it makes sense because it's such a lipstick color. So beautiful. Is the kind of thing that will look great on your lips. It's like this pinkish blood red. So this is Pucker Up. I have to say the colors are really nice. I really, really love the colors. And I think this is a great skin set. I think the colors are perfect for a skin set. I like that it contains Caucasian as well as brown skin tones, but also has pinks and purples for both. You know, you need pink on the face because your skin is translucent, and so when people blush or you see shades of red or pink on the face, that's because it's the blood that's pumping through the vessels that is showing through the skin. So there's always red on the skin and yellow, and there's always some form of blue, because the vessels also are blue. Like you can see here, don't know if you can see it, like my vessels look blue under my skin. Um, so yeah, you have the purples for the bluish tinges and also for shadows, because sometimes brown skin tones have purple shadows, green shadows, and Caucasian skin tones also can have bluish shadows. So it depends on the skin tone, depends on the person. And I really like this color. It's so uniform, so saturated. It certainly did not feel as streaky as that one or other ones in this set. And it's just really vibrant, really pops out. I really like that color. I think in terms of formula, out of all of them, this is probably the better made one. Because it's weird with some art supplies, like not all of them are going to have the same formula. Even if the formula is pretty consistent, you'll find that occasionally it will differ from crayon to crayon or pencil to pencil. It's really strange like that, because I'm not a chemist. I don't really understand the science behind it. I only know a little bit. My knowledge is limited, but from experience of using the art supplies, I know that the formula is not always consistent. Okay, so this one is Highbrow, so I've used this one before. There we go. They are really easy to use, and they're also really immediate. I think that would be great for sketching, especially if you are outdoors and you want to sketch something really quickly. I think these would be great for that. Sketching outdoors, definitely. Because they're so immediate, they go on the paper so easily, they glide so easily, and they mix really well. They mix really well there. Here we go. There we go. There's my mixtures. But I will try it on this paper as well. If I'm doing this, is because the color here, I added water to this one, obviously, and it keeps going that way. So I'm just trying to get it to go that way so it covers the whole area. Come on. All right. So now I'm going to do the brown. I'm going to add water to the brown. Browns tend to be really strong colors because they're natural colors. Obviously, brown is very easily found in nature, and natural colors tend to be more powerful, more saturated, less, streaky than non-natural colors. So you find with blues and browns, they usually tend to be the strongest colors in, well, at least in cheap art sets. Okay, so the next one is Magnetic Field. That's a nice name. I like that one. Magnetic Field. Can you see that? Hopefully you can see that. It's interesting that they call this one a magnetic field, because I wouldn't associate this color personally with a magnetic field. This looks like a very like earthy, greeny brown. It's a nice brown. It's lovely. It's very strong. I wouldn't associate it with the magnetic field. That's interesting. I wonder if these are supposed to be like stamps. Let me see. No, that didn't work. Oh, kind of worked on that one. Oh, yeah, I can see a little bit there. Yeah, look at that. Look how powerful that brown is. That is such a saturated brown. I didn't even have to add that much water. I've been adding a lot of water to these because a lot of them require a lot of water to dilute. But this one was so powerful, only a little bit was needed. I added too much, but I didn't know that. Okay, let me just wipe my brush here. Okay, so the next brown is Wink, which is interesting. Interesting name. I wasn't going to do all the colors, but I've decided I would. Because why not? I'm going to try not to add so much water. Yeah, this one is a very powerful brown as well. As I said, the browns always tend to be the strongest in any art supply set, especially if it's a cheap one. Browns and blues, but more specifically the browns. So saturated, so pretty. Such a warm brown as well. I'm trying to go through the color charts as fast as possible. You know what? I think I'm just going to do this set. I won't bother doing the next set because I think we have a good impression of what these colors are like now. I don't think it's necessary to go through every color, so I'll just do this set. Well, this one is quite streaky and chalky. That's a shame. This one I feel like I have to add a little bit more water. Because it's so streaky. Ay, 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 ay. Okay, now the Moon Kiss. So yeah, that one was rice paper, which I've used, as you guys know. And now the Moon Kiss. That's a nice name. I think Pucker Up, French Kiss, and Moon Kiss are definitely my favorite ones so far. They're very girlish names. I think. I don't know. Am I being stereotypical? I'm sorry, guys. That one is quite streaky too. That one is not diluting as well. But actually, it'll be interesting to compare what the colors look like on this paper versus what they look like on the glossy paper. So, yeah, as you can see, I would argue the colors on this paper look much more vibrant. They pack more of a punch, whereas on the glossy paper, they still look very vibrant because they are, but they're a little bit more subdued. And obviously, they dilute better with water on this paper than they do on the glossy paper. As you can see here, again, much more subdued than they are on this paper. That one is just gorgeous. I love that one. That's probably my second favorite. That's my third favorite, though the browns are all really pretty. And this one is dried now. I don't know if you guys can see that. So yeah, I personally, it looks okay. I think it looks better on camera than it does in real life. But but I personally don't like the way the colors have dried on the glossy paper, but I really like the way they dried on the rough Fabriano paper, definitely. Oops. Especially that one. I'm in love with that color. That is so pretty. That's pucker up. Ugh, I love that. Okay, so I'm going to try and mix the primary colors on this paper now. See, using the same colors that I used here. So I used, right, Heart Ice. That's an interesting name. I like that. And I used Bright Future because it's like the only yellow I've got in the set. Let me just move that so you guys can see. Like that. There we go. Sorry, that's at a bit of an angle because that's how I draw. And then there's Lapis Lazuli, which is the only true blue really on this set. So I'm going to try and mix them on this paper and see how they compare to the mix that I have here on the glossy paper. Right, so I'll do the same thing. I'll start with the red and the yellow. So that's the Hard Ice. So on this paper, it looks more pinkish because, as I said, on the glossy paper, the colors become more subdued. But on this one, it actually looks like a proper red, which is probably why I managed to create such a nice orange. So that's actually a really nice red. So that's Hard Ice. And this is Bright Future. That's a really beautiful yellow. I really like that. Now I'm going to mix it here. So I can already see the beginnings of an orange. That's interesting. They don't seem to mix as well dry as they do wet. So I do believe these are meant to be diluted with water. But I will try later on, see how well they perform both ways, dry and wet. Okay, let me just take a little bit more water. Okay, so that is a very nice orange. Yeah, I like that orange. Quite reddish, actually. Maybe I should add a little bit more yellow to it. But yes, it's mixing well, though it is becoming a little bit streaky. Maybe I'll add a little bit more yellow to it and see what happens. Make it a bit more yellow. Okay, that's a nice orange, I would say. And I don't have this type of orange in my set because the only orange I have really is this one, which is Brassy Locks. This is a Vermilion, which is canoodle. And if I show you guys what I mean, oh, but that's still wet. I'm not sure. No, I can't show it right now. But yeah, this is like an orangey yellow, and the other one is more of a Vermilion. So it's good to know that you can make a nice orange with the two primary colors. That's a really good sign, and that's quite uniform and saturated. It felt a little bit streaky, but then I added a little bit more water and it was okay. And if I play around with it here in this corner here, you can see that's a fairly nice orange. Hope you can see that on camera. And of course, if I was to add a bit more, if I was to lift a little bit more color, it would become a little bit more, a little darker. So it's up to you how much color you add to it. It will determine the darkness and lightness of the color, because with watercolors or anything that's water soluble, the more water you add to it, the lighter the color becomes, which is why in watercolors, artists don't tend to use white, because you don't tend to need white, because if you add water to a color, it becomes lighter. So if you want it darker, use more pigment and less water. If you want it lighter, you can still use the same amount of pigment depending on how much saturation you want, but add more water to it to make it lighter. So that's a nice orange right there. I like that orange. There we go. Again, hope you guys can see that on camera. My male bird is looking at me like, what are you doing? It's just chirping at me like, or maybe it's just telling me to shut up. Who knows? I don't know. Okay, so my yellow has a little bit of red on it now, so let me try and wipe that off here. I'm going to extend that yellow so I can mix it with the blue. So I'm going to add a little bit more yellow here. And now I'm going to mix the blue into it. Just going to put the blue here first. That's a really beautiful blue. Look how gorgeous the colors are, so vibrant. That's just beautiful. Okay, so again, it's mixing quite well. With yellow, I could already see a green, but once again, it's quite a dark green, so I'm just going to add a little bit more yellow to it. Okay, I've lightened it up now. Because there's no white, I can't really add any white. It does feel like oil pastels, but not as oily, if that makes sense. It's a little bit more glossy than oily, if that makes sense. It's hard to explain, actually, the texture of these crayons. They're very glossy and smooth and creamy and buttery is what I would say. Okay, so this green looks a little bit muddy, but it's a nice green nevertheless. It's dark green. I could have added a bit more yellow, but the point is they blend, they make a green. If I was to paint here, there's the green. That's what it looks like. And again, it's not streaky, even though I mixed the two colors. It's quite uniform and saturated, so that's good to know. They don't lose their vibrancy when they blend, which is good. That's good. Okay, so I'm going to stretch the blue a little bit more as well, and then I'm going to mix it with red. So I'm going to add the red here. I don't have to make it so long because I already had it on the other side, but there you go. Wasn't thinking. Okay. Let's add some water to it now. See what happens. Ooh. Oh, that's a nice purple. Look at that. That's so pretty. Oh my Lord. That is so pretty. Look at that. I'm in love. That's it. I found it. I found love just before Valentine's Day. Oh, I'm over the moon. That is so pretty. Oh, I love that purple. Let me see what it looks like on this paper. Oh, yeah, look at that. That is so saturated. Very nice. Okay. So they blended beautifully. They made really nice. Now that the green is drying, it actually looks much nicer than it did at first. It doesn't look quite muddy, so muddy or even muddy at all, actually. And again, if we compare it to this paper, they do look like they are the same colors, but again, on this one, they do look more subdued. They pack so much more of a punch on this paper. So I'm really happy, actually. I think they mix really well. I'm just going to add some water to this one and dilute this red. Let's see what we get. That's a beautiful red. Look at that. I can now see the pinkish tinge a little bit more once I dilute it with water. And I suppose in a way it's good to know that once they're dry for a long time, you won't be able to dilute them anymore like we saw earlier on the color chart, because it means they, if you're into acrylic, for example, but you want to use a new art supply that after it dries, you can go on top and just layer it on top how you wish. That you could use these if you let them dry for long enough. I haven't tested to see how long they need to dry before they become settled permanently, but you can conduct your own tests. Yes, yes, definitely there's a pinkish tinge to this red, but you can only, on this paper, it only really shows once you add water to it. It's a beautiful red. It's such a beautiful red. So I'll just add a little bit of blue. I'm just going to dilute the blue on its own here, and I'm just going to dilute the yellow here just to see what happens. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. My roommate was asking me something. Okay, so that's what the blue looks like on this paper. Very beautiful. That's what the yellow looks like. Very, very nice. Definitely much nicer than on the glossy paper. They feel very nice on this paper. I'm really happy actually because I was really excited about this art supply because I do like crayons and oil pastels and things like that. So, okay, I'm gonna let that dry. Um, so far, I'm really happy with the results. Uh, I am going to just try something on this glossy paper, only because I just want to test it a little bit. Gonna add this red to her hair. I wasn't really impressed with the way they behaved on on the glossy paper for the other set, but we'll see what happens on this one. Really, I mean, it doesn't, now that it's dried, it looks a little bit better. As I said, the problem really is the streakiness and the gaps between the particles seem to just separate with the water, but more so on the glossy paper. But it's okay. It's not so bad. I still prefer the way it looks on the Fabriano paper, but then it is better quality paper. I don't remember how much this sketchbook cost me at the time. It was a little bit expensive, but I think it's worth it. It's the best sketchbook I have. I absolutely love it. I'm so in love with this sketchbook. So I'm just going to use these colors for this picture because this picture belongs with this set. Oh, okay. So I'm gonna try and mix a skin color. Do you know, I'm gonna try this one actually. This orange. This one is called Brassy Locks. It's quite orangey. But maybe if I dilute it, it will become lighter, which it should do. It definitely should do. Well, let's see what happens. Oh, it's right. So David from David's art channel. Sorry, can't talk. David from David's art channel has just replied, and he said it looks good, a bit streaky. Do you mean on the paper? On this glossy paper? I agree with you. It has dried a bit streaky. It's good that you guys can see it on camera, because I wasn't sure if it was coming through. Okay, so that's quite a yellowish orange. Gonna probably add, we're probably gonna have to add some red, just tone it down a little bit. Or maybe I can just wipe it with the paper. And just take out some of the color. It's not going in every single corner because of its glossiness. It's repelling the color a little bit. Just wiping it there a little bit because I went outside the lines. Okay. Gonna wipe that a little bit as well. Yeah, no, I just really don't like the way it feels, the way it acts, just the way it looks on this paper. I really hate it. Yeah, so I'm just gonna add the eyes to it. I'll just use this aquamarine because it's such a pretty color. And I'll add some, the make a move. Did they mean make a move? Maybe they meant make a move. But instead of a V, they put a U. Must have been a mistake. Okay. That's a pretty color. It's a really nice pink. Right, so I'm gonna let that one dry, and I'm actually gonna leave the video there because what I'm going to do is in my next video I'm going to create a drawing, and then I'm going to on this paper, and then I'm gonna paint it with these and see what happens. But yeah, this is a first impression video. I would say my current thoughts are I will just reiterate what I've said, which is the colors are vibrant, they're really beautiful, they pop out on the paper, especially on the Fabriano paper. They blend really well. I haven't layered them as much, but I will try and do that when I make the drawing. I like the lipstick design. I like that they look like lipstick and they feel like lipstick, and you twist the cap in order to get the thing to come out. That's a girlish thing, I guess. I like that they feel smooth and buttery and creamy, and they glide across the paper really easily. They're very immediate, very easy to use. As I said, I think they'd be perfect for sketching outside. If you want to take something that is, you know, it's not going to take up a lot of space in your bag, and it's very easy to use. Yeah, at the moment, I think that also on the write-up, it did say that you can use them on, you know, all kinds of surfaces. So, uh, what does it say? On multiple surfaces. So again, if you do arts and crafts or ceramics or pottery or something, you might want to try. I mean, I can try, like, if I just on the plastic, let's see what happens. Oh, I just realized I can mix the colors on the plastic. That's probably what it's for. It's kind of like a palette. That's pretty cool, actually. Let me see what happens if I draw on the plastic. So that's what it looks like without the addition of water. Is that how you say it? The adding addition? You know, I don't remember now. And if I add water, yeah, okay, it just works like a palette. So that's another thing. You can mix them here, which is quite nice, actually. That's a nice feature. And then you can apply them to the paper. So if I was to, well, that's good. That's good. If I was to add it to the paper like so, that's another thing. I didn't consider that when I was mixing these colors, because I do like mixing it on the paper. That's a quirk of mine. I prefer mixing things on paper than I do on the palette. But there you go. You can use this as a palette, which I didn't realize until now. At the moment, I would recommend these to hobbyists and people who like painting on multiple surfaces. For sketching, I think they would be perfect. Whether, apologies guys, bear with me, my computer wants to restart, so I'm just saying not now. Whether they'd be good for professional artists or not, I will find out in my next video when I actually do a drawing and I play with them a little bit better on the artist paper and see what happens. But yeah, I mean, I think they're a great sketching tool. Very immediate, very easy to use. So that would be how I would recommend them at this point. I think they'd be great for the sketchbook. And of course, I'm using them on my sketchbook, so that's great. And but yeah, you can mix the colors here. You can add water on here. So that's perfect. You can use this as a palette. I think the design is great. I like the plastic boxes. By the way, they're very sturdy. That's something I didn't mention. I like the way these are encased. It's not like with oil pastels, if they fall on the floor, they'll get dirty because they have the caps to protect the pigment. So yeah, I think it's beautifully designed. I like how professional it looks. I like, yeah, I mean, there's not really much to say. They look great and they function great, but not on the glossy paper. I hate the way they look on the glossy paper, and they don't feel very nice on the glossy paper, and I personally cannot control them the way I would like on the glossy paper. So oh, I just realized I wiped away the purple. Never mind. So yes, those are my current thoughts. As I said, in my next video I'll do a drawing and then I'll paint that drawing. We'll see what happens then. So I'm going to let this dry, but I hope you guys have enjoyed the video, and I hope if you were looking to buy these, this has given you some clarity on whether this is for you or not at the moment. And I hope, yeah, that if you like my content and you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like, please subscribe, and please share with your friends and your family and everyone. You know, I'd really appreciate it if you could support me. I am a small channel at the moment, so I don't have a lot of subscribers. So anything you guys can do to help would be much appreciated. As I said, I will be continuing this in another video. So if you enjoyed this video and you subscribe, please make sure to turn on, to press on the bell and turn on the alerts. I think that's how it works, because it will alert you for when my next video is being released. Thank you very much for watching and for all your support. I hope you have a lovely, lovely, lovely day. And if I don't see you, or you don't see me, rather, or my hands, actually, and my artwork today or tomorrow, have a great Valentine's Day. Enjoy, have fun. And yeah, I'll see you on my next video. Bye, guys. Thank you very much.